Brad's house. Nothing special. Just another dump in Long Beach. You know, I call home. Today, let's look at all the junk that I gotta fix. Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome back. You caught me. This is the RB. Yeah, this is not what I normally do. This is new. I'm fighting, so you guys get to join the struggle. We got some new people involved. We got a new camera guy, also editor. We got new cars, JDM stuff like you guys have asked for and liked. And we still got the T-Bucket and the Tacoma. And then we're gonna do more rat rod stuff because all the rat rods are coming out of the woodworks to get fixed. So cool shit coming. But let me just go back and explain to where we are on this one. This car came to me with this RB swap, already done with the radiator, the intake manifold, and that's about it. And that's where they stopped. I think they said it made 270 horsepower. It really felt like 140 horsepower. It has a Heltec Premium Pro, which is for you guys that are doing these swaps, basically a plug and play. Heltec's made it super easy. As long as you buy their wiring harness, it plugs right into your system. So it allows you to use, I believe, your dash and everything. This one, just like most 240s, most of the stuff doesn't work, so we have to implicate other gauges and stuff on the inside. That was one thing I was disappointed when they did do this swap. They didn't give the poor girl any tachometer, any oil pressure, and as you RB guys know, oil pressure is like key. That's what kills these motors. And nothing. Like literally it had a fill gauge and a temperature, which temperature is important, not as important as what I think she needed. On top of that, the factory turbo, when we put the boost gauge on it, just to reference what it was making, was 6 psi. Bruh. So if you guys look up these motors, this is a RB25 DET Neo, and that Neo represents something extra special in this world of RB whatever the bullshit it is. So the Neo guys feel better than the rest of the guys. Anyways, from what my understanding is, it had a better turbo and a few other things that are nicer. It's not an LS, it's still slow. That was my biggest problem with this, is it was slow. We got beat by a RX-7. Not today, Brad! And that bothered me a lot because it was slow. I've driven one of these, it's a lot faster. We got it from her with her somewhat permission to make things better. And you know, we're making things better. We went with the top mount. This is actually like the lower end versions of the header and the turbo, but it's fine for what she does. I mean, she's really not looking for much more than 12, 13, 14 pounds of boost tops. It'll probably live at like 10 or 12 pounds of boost. It's gonna stay under at like 6,200 RPMs. The header, you're gonna see, because of all the, you know, maybe less expensive versions, doesn't fit as well as I wanted it to. And I had to cut and modify that to make it fit better. But that's, again, what you get, what you pay for. Other than that, we replaced all the lines of the turbo. Everything that was on the stock was leaking. Bruh. So we went ahead and put all new lines on it, wrapped it with the Thermotech. We also wrapped the exhaust with the Thermotech. We did everything so that when she goes back and she does play with it, it'll at least be fun. And then we have a date with the dyno. So that's the final thing, is we got new injectors and a new fuel system that'll allow her to actually get the full potential of what she had from the beginning. So we're probably not going to say too much, but it's going to be some numbers in the upwards of 350. And then there's also a little sauce that we're throwing on there, as everybody would say, secret sauce. And we'll go over that too. But let me get back to this because I hate talking just to that and I like working, and we'll just talk while I work. So this is how bad it is. I'll show you guys this. I go through my used fittings, and this is a nitrous fitting, and I know that because it has a screen inside here, but it's the fitting I can find that they'll use for the return. It's NIP by Dash 6. I'll just pop that screen out and eat it, even though it's more expensive with the screen. But I'm clocking the turbo right now, so for everybody that doesn't know what clocking is, clocking the turbo is putting the direction of the exhaust housing, the center housing, cold side housing, in the areas you want. That means these bolts are loosened up. You can spin the housing like this. See how that housing's spinning? And so what I'm doing is I'm clocking this bottom housing right now, and you want your oil feed in the top and your oil return on the bottom. But what's happening is my oil return line's super close to the exhaust and I want to get it away. And my water inlet and water outlet, the water inlet's just in a funky place right here by the valve cover. So I'm trying to kick the water inlet down more and then kick the oil return away from the exhaust by spinning it up like that. And I'm thinking that's about where I'm gonna go, because this water one's got to shoot down here, and right hand guy over here, that's this guy right here. That's where I'm at on that. And then on top of that, I want to clock this so it faces down. So this is facing down and it 90s over to this.
Hello.
Oh, there's the owner of the car.
Hello.
Hey, did you remember your oil filter?
Yes, I did not.
Bruh.
I was at work this morning. Could have got it, but I didn't.
Because you do what at work?
I work at Nissan.
Oh, okay. And you couldn't get me an oil filter, huh?
I could not, no.
For your Nissan, right?
I would forget my head if it wasn't already attached to my body.
Dory?
Yes.
All right, so now I'm gonna loosen up the cold side and spin that down, because this is hopefully the last time I take this thing apart, because I gotta weld on this and I only want to put it back in one more time. Anybody knows when you're doing these, you take them apart and put them back together like 25 times. This is probably the 75th. Yeah, and I leave all the bolts loose so I can do things like this. Plus I gotta prime the turbo, put oil in it. All right, that's loose, that's loose, that's loose. Oh. Put it back on again. Well, thank the Vargas brothers. He did a really good job of showing his size on the internet. Super tight. And again, there we go. I'm liking that position, because now the 90 that I put here has got to go to there. See how if we just did a 90 here, we're going straight to this guy. So it's 90-90. Which is nice for me, and it's away from this exhaust. Again, we're gonna just temporarily tighten this up again. What do you think, Maya?
I love it. Very excited.
Now we're gonna tack the wastegate that fell off. Will you grab that fell on the floor? Some of the things I didn't like, this was facing to the rear, which just would have clustered the back side of this whole project. So I cut it and I spun it around so we could have it in the front. And now I'm going to tack weld it so that when I take this off again, I can weld it completely on, because I want it to come up here like this and then come down and shoot out this way. So when she does her little pop, 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 it'll be shooting out this way, down underneath here. That's what everybody likes. Pop, 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 pop. Nice. All right, here. Just trying to check the clearance. I always have problems with clearance.
It's choked out of there.
Sucked on this one here and this one here, because it hits the exhaust manifold a little bit. I'm gonna dent them a little to get the nut on easier. But here we can all use the factory thick washers, which helps seal better. I like using the factory gaskets and the factory parts as much as I can, especially on hardware. Bruh. Before I get eaten up by everybody on the internet, I'm gonna do this for you guys. My hands are beat. Look at this thing. Missing a finger. So let me just bring it up just a little bit. And the hole's gone. All right, let me get this side done. That's everywhere. Time to wrap. Now we gotta play doctor. By the way, I got my gloves on. My product manufacturer, don't be mad at me for not using your wire tie thing. I'm just old school. I like steel wire. Sold at Home Depot for cement and cement purposes. Okay. So. That's good.
Great.
Yeah, huh? That's funny. I thought I f***ed that up. It was literally the threads were crooked and thank God aluminum's so soft. I'll put some thread sealer on that and I'll feel so much better. But I need to tighten all this up
Pizza
before I
Hut?
put it all together back in for the hopefully the very last time. Please be the very last time that I have to put this in. All right, we're not worried about the downpipe for now. We can fire up without that because we're not going to be hitting waster gate. No waster gates at idle. Especially when you didn't bring your oil pressure or oil filter and oil. Man.
And I work at Nissan.
Dory,
What's going on here?
pour these waste gates. I'm waiting for that motor to come back. CPR and nice guys over there, Martin and them, are taking care of me on this one because they want this motor to last longer than a year or two. So they're building me a good one. I haven't even decided. That might not be a good way to go with that. I might do a 90 on that, huh? Look at the way that is. Well, that's easy to get to, so we can change that. That is at least easy to get to because that's on the top side.
I'm that one fish from that one movie that forgets everything.
The bluefish.
The bluefish.
Bluefish. Oh, bluefish and pumpkin smashing.
Oh my god.
That's not a copyright.
It's not.
So look, I had to modify this stud. I cut it down because it was hitting this pipe. One of these pipes it was hitting. And I was like, ouchie. So I cut that one down and we can't use the washer on it. I'm waiting for oil pressure sensor that's gonna go here because she doesn't have oil pressure, but I could put a plug in it for now.
So what do you want on your pizza? Pizza time. I'm always thinking about food. Can we do a veggie one and a pepperoni one?
You can waste the pizza on a veggie one.
I love veggie pizza. You guys want pepperoni, tan sausage, chicken, bacon, Philly steak, hot sauce,
Yes.
tropical sauce?
It's a clearancing tool. Wow. That is just going to be one nightmare of a bolt to put in. So the next header we get is going to have a better clearance for that bolt or that nut to get on. Because that is just going to be so much fun.
There's that squeeze ball right there.
Yeah, it's just like, it's going to hit that corner every time you turn it. Yeah, that's going to be the funnest one of the whole manifold. So 1 hour bolt, or 1 hour nut. Now I need to get this nut on. If I tilt it up and try to get it on, it'll go. Please.
No gloves, looking for the
no
G spot.
No love. But it's got better feel and touch with the
Oh,
tip,
man.
you know?
Just a tip?
So, like, I don't want to lose my way. Dude, it is so close.
Just, do you know that?
No, there's no way to see what I'm doing. It's what the sad part is, it doesn't feel like I'm getting anywhere either. Because I have to start at the very out part. Somebody on the internet can come tell me what the easy way is to do this. So that the next time I have to do this, I can do it that way. Oh, you can't even see. So I don't have my head down there, it's all by feel. This stud came out when we were taking the block apart, when I was taking the header off. And this is the bolt I'm gonna use. But this bolt is gonna go where the stud is, and it's gonna sit flat with the header, so when we put the header on, I can tighten this bolt and it doesn't have a stud sticking through. So now I've got to double nut that guy and take it out. How many people with their 240s
Think
are like,
about
I'm
that.
just gonna do this little turbo kit now. I don't got a car to work in the morning.
Luxuries.
Yeah, there's
The sparklers.
How's the food coming?
I'm trying to order it.
So we bought the AFR gauge with the AEM little deal, and I got to drill a hole in the downpipe to add its own O2 for the AFR gauge because she didn't have that. Oh, there we go. I got it. Doesn't matter if the thread's up and out anyways. This is the plumber in me using the channel locks. Can't do a 2J, everybody did it. It's like an LS of the inline sixes. Ah! Chewy.
Ew.
Chewy buoy. So now we can sneak this on the header, slide the header on, and then tighten this. I'll do this, hopefully. Let's just pray. Like that.
Oh.
And now I can turn this, see? With a wrench right there, as we slide it in. And the opposite. Ooh, perfect. Now time to get the wrench. Oh, it's not even in yet. There we go. Come on, just I'll take a quarter turn at a time. Be cool. This is all blind. Alright, I'm gonna put a top nut on now, because now I can pull it back a little bit. Relax. But I like these. These are the big ones. I think that hopefully we can still use them. Big washers. All the factory stock hardware. Nissan rusty gold. Ooh. Now that's another headache. Oh, there we go. I was like, whoa. And that one will not be getting a washer. Oh, Dizam. Got another hard one.
That's what she said.
What a fun project.
Tens.
Oh, tons of fun.
Here, I'll get that.
Fucking gonna start all of the ones that have to be hard like this. Does this washer fit? Nope. So I guess the washers aren't gonna fit on the bottom. That's not the right net.
Well, that's what I found on the floor.
Washers. This is the right net. It's funny because I watched a video on this. Dude went out and bought like special tools and stuff, trying to make this easier. I totally understand now why he was like, I went and bought these crow feet wrenches. You could totally see trying every tool possible. Thank you, JDM guys. One more one right there I'm gonna get. So if you build a custom header for this, this is the key. Bottom nut placement. Yeah, they always wonder why I got all the young girls. It's the fingers, I'm telling you right now.
The glove.
You don't have to cut that out. See, that's like the reverse around the header, hand crooked. Wonder why I'm gonna have arthritis later in life. Getting it every time. Kids today.
What? My hands are...
Yeah, it's from the keyboard.
No, it's from weightlifting.
Yeah, these bottom bolts are fun. Somebody goes, oh, I don't like using the stock hardware because they tighten hard. Well, because they're a crown bolt that's supposed to they're like a self-locking bolt. And as soon as they're on thread, they tighten hard. But they tighten hard because if they go on hard, they come off harder. They don't unloosen. There's a reason behind that. See why I only wanted to do this one more time? Top ones you can practically get on with a gun.
Bottom ones are a bit.
Yeah. What's funny is the exhaust manifold, not so much. I think there was like 2 in the back that were kinda hard to get to, but stock exhaust manifold was not so bad. Moving on to the snail place. If I ever have to replace this manifold, I think I'm just gonna sawzall it off. Just take the sawzall and just go right along the bottom and just take all the ears off. And the nuts will be easy to get to. I gotta stop. My hands are getting nervous. Wanna play? Bruh.
Okay, hand me the camera.
So this is becoming a bitch and we don't want you to watch a monopolist and whatever, you know what I'm saying, video of this. So we're gonna do like what all the YouTubers do and go boom! And when we get back to this, you're gonna see it on. For a second, so you can have editing time. Blam! Just like the YouTubers do it. See? The last cut was me fighting all the bolts, nuts, and the problems, and then I just snapped my fingers and all the YouTube magic came together and threw it together. That's a lie. So for all of you guys that are ever gonna do this, this is a nightmare. This, you have to beat that 100 times and it again. The bottom bolts are a nightmare. The next time somebody decides to build a manifold, they should build it with a socket on the bottom manifold so you could actually tighten it. 2, all the position of the wastegate and everything is completely foobar for trying to get it in there with any kind of space. So we had to cut the wastegate pipe, move it forward. That down pipe, if you've ever done a down pipe on one of these cars, is why they do all those little pies where they pie it this way, pie it that way, pie it this way. That's like a road on the side of a hill. It just goes down. Then after putting it all together, I didn't like the bolts that you couldn't get to tighten, which obviously leak because we know that the flange bolts leak. So we took it all apart again for the 197,000th time and put V-bands on it. So today we are going to start it and end the turbo top mount install, but it's not actually done. We still have to build our charge pipes, which we're real close to getting them connected here, and then our intake pipe, which I'm super excited for because we get to use the big Mamba. The big Mamba, and that just kind of makes this whole thing look beautiful and cool. So that's where we're at. We're gonna do a fire up right now. Just got all the hoses on, water lines, cooling lines. A couple things that we did, because all you turbo boys have these problems, is we blanketed the turbo. We wrapped the exhaust, wrapped the header. We also cool it, thermotech all of the lines. So oil inlet, water inlet, and oil outlet are all wrapped. So nothing should burn, catch fires, or leak oil. Now let's like fire it up. turbo thingy spinning. There's air blowing. No oil falling out of the bottom. Winter chicken dinner. All right, guys, we're done with the top mount. I don't suggest anybody that's got no fabrication skills take that on. If you have a welder and you have fabrication skills, go for it. It is a nightmare. I told her if we ever take that manifold off, what am I taking it off with?
The Sawzall.
The Sawzall. I'm gonna cut and then take the bolts out and it'll never go back on again. So yeah, eBay, cheese bay, I'm sorry, I probably should have bought bay, something that, and if I do ask somebody to build the manifold, I'll be like, do the bottom bolts, can you get to them? Because that is the key to this whole project. I spent 2 days doing those bottom bolts. And it's just out of frustration. You have to walk away, come back, and walk away, and come back. But it's running. We're gonna get the intercooler charge piping done. And then we have some dolling up to do because obviously there's some ugliness that you guys can see and pick on. Like, I don't know what the they put these things on to do what.
Bruh.
We have to remake those. They don't actually hold the top of the radiator. I don't know what shop this came from, but that's pretty cool. This reservoir is pretty hideous, so we're gonna go for the chrome. Probably don't get you home. Ugly plastic reservoir is getting replaced with a billet reservoir, and we got a catch can for her purple housing. We got a little decoration to do. This is all decorative. You know, all that cool decorative stuff. It has nothing to do with running, just has to do with looking cool. She hates this, and we gotta mount this. The nitrous, baby. Yeah. We already went ahead and had the intake off, so we drilled the fogger nozzle right there. Now we've got to find a proper location for this to go into there. Now the whole reason I've held off on this whole side is because we have fuel injectors. We have all TF whatever, so we can run the E85. But we got all stainless steel hard lines. We got an external fuel pressure regulator and a bunch of other good stuff going on over here. Coming soon, fuel stuff. Bye.